Hello, everybody. Professor Andy Molnar, UONA, leading this discussion. The book we're using in this course is called Discovering Computers, and that's what these slides will be referring to. Now, I would like to begin in this first video lecture that I like to break the lectures into 12 to 15-minute videos. So you'll see several videos per week. They're short, 10, 12, 15 minutes max, because I know your time is valuable and I know you are busy. Many of you are busy people, working adults even. If you can get 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, I don't want you to have to pause and come back to a video and go, what was he talking about? I like to pause it at a point that's a natural transition and then pick up with another video. So gauge your work that way. Okay, so now, and this is a great book for an introduction to discovering computers, digital technology, data, and devices. It really is a good resource. What I don't like is the name, right? I would change the name to 2020, right? And because we all know that 2018, frankly, for technology is old, and that I've worked on this course to try and bring it up to date as things evolve rapidly. So there we are, moving on to slide 2 then. Today's technology, right, is about a search for information, right? Information, as we know by IT standards, has this common understanding, which is essential to everything we're going to be learning. And here it is. Information is data endowed with meaning or purpose. Information, I'll repeat, is data endowed with meaning or purpose, right? Sometimes it's so important that entire businesses thrive because of this very definition of information. So information is data endowed with meaning or purpose. So as a result, we'll use this course to improve our digital literacy, right? So we can maximize our use of that very information that we're talking about, okay? Now, a computer then is an electronic device operating under the control of instructions stored in its memory. So a computer is going to have inputs. It's going to process those inputs via the software, and it's going to produce outputs. The very screen that you're looking at is an output of this interaction, right? So the instruction the computer uses are organized now for a common purpose. And we call that common purpose software, or sometimes it's called a program, right? This is really what's going on around us as we use information. So another way of looking at a computer is not just a desktop, that's an older world, but now we have a laptop. A laptop is sometimes called a notebook. But there are other tools that we can use to process this information, right? We can use a tablet, for example, which is really just a smaller laptop, but it's still larger than a phone and often comes with a touch screen because we need a way to give input. Remember, there's input and processing and then an output, right? So on a tablet, as the devices get smaller, and on our modern phones, we have this touch screen, right? So if your tablet doesn't have a keyboard, it often has it on screen, or sometimes you can even purchase a separate keyboard to create your inputs, okay? Now, often these computers will also have a tower, and all the processing circuitry, that middle process in our definition of computers, all of that processing circuitry is inside of that tower, right? Now, you might ask yourself, having reviewed now several types of computers, which one is best? Well, my answer would be that it depends, right? I personally have a work laptop. I have a personal laptop with a big 15 or 17-inch screen. I also have a tablet that I use when I need something lightweight, on the move, easy to handle in a small space like Starbucks, where there might be lots of people gathered. And I have an iPhone for my computing needs, right? So the answer is just going to be, it probably just depends, right? Now in this slide, I'd like to clarify, another type of computer is a server, right? A server is a computer providing services to other computers or devices on a network, right? And a network, as we're going to learn later in this week one lesson, is a collection of computers, right? Even at home, you have a high-speed desktop can act as a type of server, and you have a home network, which we'll talk about again later in week one. But for now, a server is a computer providing services to other computers or devices on the network. I just want to clarify this picture here is actually a server rack, not a server. And this server rack is going to house multiple servers. In the picture, I tried to count them up myself. I can see 9 servers in this rack, right? That's high speed, high powered capability. We don't need quite yet, but we're going to get there in our conversation, right? So the server then provides this functionality for other programs or devices called clients. So when my laptop connects to a server, my laptop is referred to as the client, right? And then this becomes a client-server architecture, it's called, right? And so servers are going to provide functionality for me, or sometimes just called services, right? Such as sharing of resources among multiple clients, among multiple laptops, for example, or maybe performing computations for me, right? In fact, a single server can manage multiple clients at the same time. And a single client can actually reach out and touch multiple servers at the same time. How many times have you had your laptop open and you have 5 different shopping websites available? You're actually reaching out to a single client reaching out to 5 different servers. So that's kind of how the servers work and client-server relationships. So next we're going to talk about a mobile device, right? A mobile device is now handheld, right? So we've gone to these desktops or laptops. They can sit on your desk or they can sit on your lap. Now we've moved on to mobile, which is a handheld device, right? Some of these are internet capable, and frankly, the trend in computing now is that technologies often overlap, right? This is called digital convergence, which means that consumers may need fewer devices for their functionality, right? So my smartphone will have a camera also, right? It is likely going to be internet capable, typically wireless, and with a touch screen, so I've got my input device, right? And it's a popular way, smartphone, for data sharing, like messages or text, instant messages, voice messages, pictures, video, etc., right? Digital cameras can also communicate wirelessly often. In fact, they even have a GPS, the Global Positioning System, built in, so it will annotate where that picture was taken based on the GPS capability. All right, we have portable media players to view digital media, and digital media will include photos, videos, even streaming, things like streaming. We have ebook readers, which we'll talk about operating systems later in chapter 1. And an ebook reader, like a Kindle, is a popular type of ebook reader. One of the most popular Kindles is called a Firefox, and that actually defines the operating system that Kindle is using. It's Amazon's operating instructions Okay, and then of course wearable devices. Many of us are wearing Fitbits or other wearable devices. These are the mobile computers. Okay, so now we look at data and information. Back to that whole conversation about input and output, input and processing, and then output, right? And here's just a common example, right? That computer's an electronic device, we saw earlier in this lesson, operating under the control of instructions stored in its memory, right? So now we understand an actual application in this picture of information, which is data endowed with meaning or purpose. You have your input, your processing, and your output, right? And this information requires this for that it to have meaning and purpose, right? Input devices include hardware such as keyboards I mentioned, or they call them pointing devices. And a pointing device is actually like your mouse or your touchpad or your keypad, right? A pointing device. Even a stylus. Many of us use a stylus, a little pen where we tap the computer. That can be an input device, right? And then an output device are hardware components that convey information, like the printed receipt in this example. Today we often talk about 3D printers, right? Which print solid objects made of a plastic substance, which is really, really exciting. So now that we've covered the inputs, the processing, and the data, this data and information could also include a scanner, right? This technology allows for users to take pictures with their mobile devices and then convert them into a form a computer can process, right? An example of the scanner is to use your mobile phone, your handheld phone, your handheld device, to deposit checks. A lot of us just take a picture of the check to deposit it right to our bank account, which is really kind of an exciting use of data and information. Now, so the display then becomes an output device that usually conveys the text, the graphics, and video information. Even a TV today is a computer, which is often wireless. It's called a smart TV, like an HD TV, providing you the output based on this processing and the programs that we've been talking about. Now, before I pause this portion, I just wanted to mention that data and information is articulated through these concepts. Memory of the electronics components. So let me take a step back. Remember we saw the process as input, processing, and output. This is part of processing, memory. Memory consists of the electronic components that store the instructions waiting to be executed. So what happens is we have our program or our application stored away on our computer, right? And when we double click on it or tap on it, it pulls it out of storage and puts it into memory. Once it's in memory, it's active, it's live, right? And those are the instructions that are going to look for certain inputs to provide outputs that we hope to achieve, right, in our computing world. So the computer keeps this data and instructions and information in the storage media until it needs it. Then it pulls it out and puts it in memory where it's active and live. In that active and live memory, we're going to pick up from there with a risk to memory. And so click on the next link.